it is fun to ask myself what is new or what happened since 1 year ago. Meaning, what are the ideas that came to me that connect to what I'm going to put on the blackboard in a mathematical form. And so I begin with a very brief summary of the main idea from the previous most recent lectures, 2 of them. It was so here's the main lesson, or the main idea. It is that when it comes to configuring things that move, I call them design or design in nature, which includes, of course, the human realm. There's design in nature is everything, because nature is everything. I think I told you what nature means. Do you remember? Do you remember? You guys have memory? I mean, if you don't have memory, sorry, if you lack in that department, record Adrian on your audio. So at night when you're trying to fall asleep, just listen to some of these things. Nature, the word is natura. Natura. It means birth. It's a noun, birth. Obviously, it means everything that happens now because previously did not exist, you see. So it's a word that covers everything, which is why in English, in fact, you hear the expressions, the nature of the dog is to do this, or the nature of the elm tree is to, spread the spores, whatever the rest of the sentence is. It is in the nature of the beast. You heard these expressions. It comes from birth, meaning from the definition of the existence of this particular object that you observe. That's the meaning of the word. And, okay, I was on a different rail. It's like the train arrives on the train station. You guys never seen a train in a train station, but it arrives and the person at the at the switches had fallen asleep, and instead of arriving on track number 1, the train ends up in some depot on a very far track. So that's what happened. This is the wrong track. I was telling you the main idea from this past 2 lectures was that when it comes to configurations for things that move everywhere, you, the thinker, are able to contemplate something that people call a design space, meaning configurations, drawings, that you discovered fall into 2 groups or 2 kingdoms or realms. One is the realm of the possible, and the other one is the impossible. On the abscissa was a dimensionless measure of the flow resistance or the power that you have to spend. So this is the pain in your wallet on the abscissa. Let's call it cost. On the ordinate was in this direction your freedom to make the drawing, or to make it more complicated. The complexity, you can call it freedom. More degrees of freedom to make the drawing. In the opposite direction was simplicity. So qualitatively, this is what you saw. You saw more than once. And here on the abscissa, in the limit of infinite freedom, you have the round tube, the perfect design. Soon enough, we'll be referring to this nirvana as perfection. And then climbing up with this sort of a initial vertical slope are designs that are nearly perfect, but a diversity of designs on this dashed line that are actually pretty good, okay? The nearly perfect. There are many, they're different. They exhibit variety. That's the name, the word variety. Practice this word, okay? In English, it is called diversity. Question the meaning of the words. Variety, the quality of being varied. So when you hear the word diversity, ask yourself whether you are seeing the quality of being varied. So, diversity. All right, so that's the main idea. As I told you last time, I made a confession. I suffer from the tendency to figure out who came up with ideas first. I mentioned Aristotle at one point. Do your parents take you to musicals? Have you? Okay, fine. So I see. Okay, fine. So in the musical Evita, have you seen Evita? Okay. Che Guevara is the narrator, and the whole thing is about Eva Perón, the lady who you've seen this too.
I haven't seen it, but I
is the best of the Andrew Lloyd Webber's musicals. Okay, so Che Guevara, while criticizing Eva Perón, uses the line, politics is the art of the possible. And recently, I ran by accident. I ran into the person who said it first, except that the original line is longer, comma, the attainable. And then long dash, the art of the next best. Okay, so that's the line. Connected with this drawing, I asked you to imagine, for example, ducts with a quadrilateral cross-section, say lined up like this, ducts that look like this, or trapezoidal cross-section, and going to the left, they get better and better, all the way to the square cross-section. So this progress from not too bad, but to better and better at this level of, let's say, human ability to make a drawing or to manufacture a cross-section, you think this way, you see. This statement was made by Bismarck. He was a statesman, Prussia, responsible for overseeing the unification of the German states into, this is middle of the 1800s, into Germany. And there are many things he's done. I'm not going to get into his, let's call it, why he is famous in history. The point is that this sort of thing, today, again, not knowing about him, I call evolutionary design. It is the art of, obviously, what works, but also the talent of asking yourself whether you can do it better. This is engineering. Engineers are unstoppable inventors. This person who will stop inventing is not an engineer. The engineer wakes up in the morning with the, let's say, the urge or fire in his belly to do it better, you see. And that is the direction of thought here. And that is why I show you the connection between today's lesson and the discovery that the idea belongs, has been around in the minds of those who obviously were challenged to do things better. Another thing, assuming that you're not born yesterday, you're aware of the fact that politics these days has a bad connotation. Oh, you know, it's politics. You know, you hear something with which you disagree, then you dismiss it. Not you, but you hear these people all the time. Politics. Well, politics is not a negative term. First of all, polis means a city in Greek antiquity. During democracy, people were voting to make changes at the city level for the city, for the community to function better. That was a period of city-states. You had the Athens, you had Sparta, obviously competing. So the city is where the design kept morphing, improving, all the way to, of course, the Romans came, and the Romans are very good at, not at destroying, but at taking what works from other cultures. And the word for that is civilization. Which means city living. Once again, engineering. By the way, the oldest form of engineering today is called civil engineering. That was engineering before steam power. Steam power with the machines gave birth to this new version of engineering, which was not pulled by horses and oxen. It was self-driven, you see. And so if the word politics displeases you, think of it as civilization, because it means the same thing.